Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your fourth MySQL tutorial. And now that we have some data to play with, let's go ahead and play with it. So open up PHPMyAdmin by, of course, clicking the link. And once you do, your PHPMyAdmin tool should open up. Now, let's go ahead and start with some really simple commands. Now, in order to type in these commands, you always go up to this SQL tab. Now, whenever you click it, you have this text box that opens up, and this is where you're going to be writing your commands. So let's start with something very simple. Type in show databases. And once your command is complete, just go ahead and click go and check it out. Whenever you hit go, it says your SQL query has been executed successfully. If you have any errors in your queries, then this is going to be red and it's going to say, there's error on line 2 or something. But anyways, what this query does, whenever we see show databases, it basically lists all of the databases in your server. So right now we have information schema, or schema, however the heck you say it. That was already built into MySQL. We didn't make that one. And we also have Danielle_YouTube. So if you're just running this for the first time and you want to see what databases your work or school has, go ahead and run that command. So basically, like I said, that is how you run a simple command. And another thing I want to take note of is that SQL, the language is typed standard in all capital letters. Now, the only thing that's not going to be in capital letters is table names and column names. Those are going to be in lowercase, but all of the language itself, for example, like the keywords, those are going to be typed in all capital letters by standard. Now, if you already are in a database, for example, if you already are in the database Danielle YouTube, and when I say in the database, in order to get in a database, then I mean, like, if you have the database selected already, then let's go ahead and run some simple commands from here. So let's go ahead and select our Danielle_YouTube and hop over to this SQL tab. Now that we have this database selected, let's see what tables we have in this database. So I'm going to go ahead and run the command show tables, and I'm going to go ahead and hit go and see what tables we have in here. Well, right now we only have the customers tables, so that is basically what the command does. Whenever you hit show tables, it basically returns a list of tables for the currently selected database, which was in this case Danielle_YouTube. So what if we want to, I don't know, see all the column names for a specific table? Well, of course, go up to this SQL, and again, make sure we're going to be working in Danielle_YouTube for the rest of these tutorials. So basically, I want to see all of the column names from the table customers, because remember, customers, if we click on it, we can see that it has ID, name, address, city, state, and zip, but we want to do it through SQL because that's what we're learning. So go ahead in your SQL tab, and in order to do that, hit show columns, I always spell columns wrong, from, and remember, like I said, the language SQL is all in caps, but your table names are in lowercase, so customers. So show columns from customers, whenever you run this command, what it's going to do is it's going to return the names of the columns, for example, ID, name, address, city, state, zip, basically those categories, as well as some other information, and we'll cover this other information later on. This is the type of data, and like I said, I'm going to be covering this later on, but one key thing I want to point out is this PRI, that stands for primary key. Now, remember in the first tutorial, I told you guys about primary key was pretty much the one thing in your table that you can't have repeated. So if we look, it says the ID was the primary key, and that's why all of these numbers are unique. But anyways, let's go ahead and learn a few more commands. So as you can see already, probably, that SQL, it isn't, a weird computer programming language that you're going to need an interpreter for. It's made up of these keywords that are pretty much written in plain English, very easy to understand. Now, one of the most common commands that we're going to be working with is the select command, SELECT. Now, what this command does is pretty much select the information or data that you want. So let me go ahead and hop over to this customers table real quick. You see that this customers table has a bunch of information on it. ID numbers, names, addresses, city, states, zip. So let's go ahead and select one of these columns. So of course SQL, and I'm going to go ahead and select, what can I select? City from customers. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this and then I'm going to talk about it. So go ahead and hit go, and as you can see from our customers table it returns all of the cities. So anytime you ran a query, you can either look at that query right here, or if you want to see it exactly like you typed it, hit show query box and that's going to go ahead and show your query. But for the purposes of this tutorial, or excuse me, for the purposes of this query, I'm just going to go ahead and read right from here. So what the select statement does is it pretty much selects what information do you want, and you type this right after select. So we want to select the city from, and from is a keyword, what table. So basically we wanted to select what information, the city, from what table, customers, it's our only table we have to work with right now. And there you go, there you have it, the results of our query. And by the way, I probably should have mentioned this a while ago. Whenever I say query, I just mean a command or instruction that we're telling MySQL to do. So that's what query means. I know I said it for like the last 5 minutes. I didn't explain, but it's pretty much an instruction. What we've been typing in are all queries.